Thank you for staying with me on the program, TMI, on the ITV network. Our guest is an engineer, and she's currently the national president of Edo National Association Worldwide. I'm talking about engineer Mrs. Bose Ogbeifun-Oviasu. Engineer Bose Ogbeifun was born in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. She had her elementary education at Agbado Primary School and secondary education at St. Maria Goreti Girls School, both in Benin City, before proceeding to Edo State University, Ekpoma, where she obtained a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering. After graduation, she worked briefly with Edo Broadcasting Services in Benin City before relocating to the United States, where she continued her education at the University of Detroit Mercy, UDM, Michigan, and obtained a master's degree in Electrical Electronics Engineering. She is the president and chief executive officer of Trust Care Group Homes Incorporated, a non-profit organization that provides specialized residential care services to individuals with intellectual and developmental challenges in Michigan. Engineer Bose Ogbeifun is the first and to date the only female president of Edo Heritage Foundation, Michigan, where she served 2 terms, 2010 to 2014. During her tenure, she worked tirelessly to mobilize members of the EHF to purchase a community hall, Edo Heritage Community Center in Southfield, Michigan, where Edo people and other ethnic nationalities in Michigan now hold meetings and other social events. She is a philanthropist par excellence who has contributed immensely to support several developmental initiatives both in Edo State and the Nigerian community in the diaspora. Today we have with us engineer Mrs. Bose Ogbeifun-Oviasu, President, Edo National Association Worldwide, ENAW, as our guest on the program. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Good morning. Okay, let's begin the conversation. Can you share with us what inspired you to pursue a career in electrical electronics engineering? Particularly, engineering is a field that is dominated by males. And then, of course, how would you describe the impact of your your primary, secondary, and tertiary education in shaping you to become what you are today?
From primary school, I went to primary school, and I discovered at that early age that I was very good in mathematics, which was my favorite subject. So that kind of gave me an insight of who probably in future. From primary school to secondary school, I was good in science classes, physics, mathematics, chemistry. I was a science student. So growing up, no, my parents did not talk me into the career of what I want to become in life. It was just a passion that I had inside of me that this is the direction I have to go. So by the time I now graduated from secondary school now into the university, I decided to study electrical electronics engineering at Edo State University, Ekpoma, of which calculation, mathematics, numbers is the area of my strength. So I agreed. I was in we were just 3 females in our class during that course of study. It was more of men.
Just only 3 females in the class, in the full. Interesting.
It was all full of men.
Yeah.
And it was not challenging because I was equal to the task and all that. I studied hard and I made it. So by the time I graduated from Edo State University, when we now relocated to US, I continued in that path. A lot of my friends that we all traveled out of the country together, most of them ended up being nurses, because that is something that is...
No, for engineers becoming nurses.
Yeah, even lawyers, they were already nurses, but I stayed focused. And I went back to school over there. I had my master's degree, still electrical electronics engineering, because that is the area of interest to me.
Fantastic.
That is the only thing I can do.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Figures, numbers, calculations.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, share with us how this course, this discipline that you have so much passion for, has shaped you in terms of impacting lives, even in Michigan, where you currently reside, to the point that you're the CEO of Trust Care organization. Yeah. So what informed that, and how were you able to put that together?
Actually, we all know that knowledge is power, and you can never go wrong with education. Technically, all that study I had kind of gave me an insight and confidence in what I want to do in life. I eventually ventured into healthcare because I discovered that I had another passion inside of me of caring for people. So I decided to start a business in 2004, Trust Care Group Home Inc., whereby we care for individuals that are mentally challenged. So our company is registered by the state of, is licensed by the state of Michigan, and we've been in business for 21 years now, had over almost 100 workers in our company. So that spirit of care kind of is a way that led me into most of the things I did in Michigan and running that company. Yes.
Okay, can you highlight some of the notable community development efforts that you've been into, and how these projects have impacted people's lives, both in Michigan and in Edo State?
Yeah, the care I'm talking about led us to having this Edo House in Michigan, where we rent that place to all indigents from foreigners like the Camerooners, the Nigerians, the Americans. They all use that place. Even with that, when I ran for presidency in Edo National Association, I brought that spirit of care. My campaign message was that we have to bring things back at home to help our people. Okay. So I came up with this dialysis center that we now eventually were able to build in Edo South off Airport Road. So that facility right now, the day I visited there, when I saw the number of patients that are going there, I felt that satisfaction that ENAW were able to bring this to our people back at home, where we are seeing all these renal patients.
Okay, now you are the first female president of ENAW. Yes. How was the election that brought you to power? Because if you are the first, it means that you must have showed some unique traits that made all your contestants to bow, in a sense, for you to prevail and become the president of the association. And now you talked about the dialysis center that you've just established in Benin, yeah, off Airport Road. Was this part of the vision?
Yes. When I ran for that position, we actually 3 contestants, 2 men and myself. Over 30 years of ENAW in existence, it has always been men that hold the president positions. And I saw the direction the association was going to. With this passion in my heart, I decided to run. I said we can change the narrative of Edo National Association. What is that we are bringing up to table for our Edo people in Nigeria? So 2 men ran with me, and I came up with track records of the things I have done in the past. Everywhere I go, everywhere I serve, I leave a legacy. So I brought all those with my engineering brain. I brought it to the project. I projected it to the voters. I told them, in Michigan, as a president, the first female president, to were able to acquire Edo House, which has generated over $200,000 for the association. Even as a former vice president of St. Maria Goretti Old Girls Association overseas, I was the vice president for 4 years. We came up with rebuilding the classrooms that were dilapidated. I was the chairman of the fundraising. So we built 10 classrooms for St. Maria Goretti, commissioned it. After that, we went further to build 14 flat teachers' quarters for the school. So by the time around, I brought all my track records of the things that I have done in the past. I projected it to the voters. I told them that this time we need to move ENAW forward. It's not just holding a position, but what can you bring to the table? How do we change the narratives? That was what I did. And thank God that the voters, they saw, they reasoned, they knew that I was the best candidate to assume that office, and they voted for me. And it's not just winning it narrowly, it was a big landslide. I won by 41 votes, the next person won by 13 votes, and the last person won by just 1 vote.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, okay, you talked about the establishment of a dialysis center, yes, as part of your vision. We have one in Edo South. Okay.
Currently, currently we are building in Edo North right now, precisely Okbila.
Okay.
Is ongoing. Hopefully between now and before the end of the year, that facility will be ready.
Okay.
And by the time we move from there, we now go to Edo Central.
Okay.
You know, we are trying to find a location there. Before my tenure is over, by the grace of God, would have gone round through all the 3 senatorial districts.
Fantastic.
That is the dream.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We hear there is a convention coming up, yes, under the platform of ENAW, with the theme Strategies for Preventing Insecurity to Fast-Track Socio-Economic Development in Edo State. Can you tell us more about that convention?
Convention is an annual conference that ENAW embark on every year, whereby we invite the state governor as our special guest of honor to come to where the place of convention to speak to us on the state and affairs of what is going on in Edo State, and so as to we in diaspora to see how we can make an impact, how we can bring our values or things that we have learned over there to also bring to Edo State to enhance the state. So this year the convention is taking place at Montreal, Quebec in Canada. We move from country to country, state to state. Next year, 2026, it will take place in Dallas, Texas, Dallas. So the keynote speaker for this year on the topic you just mentioned is Dr. Solomon Arase, who is going to speak to us.
As a former Inspector General of Police.
Okay. Former Inspector General of Police is going to be our keynote speakers, and we're going to have so many other dignitaries. Is a conference that brings all the Edos in diaspora from Europe, from America, Canada, all over the world. That is why it's called Edo National Association worldwide, of which my humble self is the world president.
Fantastic.
So we bring everybody together and interact. You know, a lot of people meet people that they've not met for so many years, that they've lost contact, and we talk about how we can help to Edo State, our country. Okay.
I also heard that the Governor, Senator Mando Pablo, is the special guest of honor.
Yes.
So what is the plan to have him there? Is it like an interface, an interaction with him or something?
Yeah, he's going to come. We've sent, actually the Edo State office, government office sent a list of the entourage that will be coming with the governor. They sent us a list because we have to do an invitation letter today to enable them get visa to make the trip. So he's going to interface with us and talk to the audience. So that the audience can also ask questions to know more of what is going on with his administration currently.
Awesome, awesome. Let's talk about your personal life a little bit. You are a wife, you are a mother, and you run an organization. You contested for an election, won convincingly, and you are driving all of these projects. I mean, you're literally working on so many fronts. How are you able to combine your marital life, your social life, and your work life and still look this beautiful and young?
First of all, I want to use this medium to actually thank my husband, Mr. Ogbeifun-Oviasu, who is my crown, the head of our home. He has been a very, very supportive husband. Because as a married woman, you cannot actually go out doing all these things if your husband don't let you. go out. I'm serving immense ward.
Yeah.
I'm doing things that is supposed to be the capacity for men. So he's been a supportive husband. My children too, they've been great sharing their mother with the world, allowing their mom to have time to serve humanity, have time to go out there and serve others. So I am a woman that know how to multitask. I do so many things at the same time. If you ask me, actually, I don't even know how I do it. But I find myself doing so many things, getting things done is part of my DNA. It's like that is how God made me. And I'll be able to manage all the different, my business, my career, my family, the humanitarian job that we do and all that. Somehow I'll be able to manage all of them whereby there's no problem.
Okay.
There's no problem doing all that.
All
Everything just runs smoothly.
All right. Before we let you go, there are a lot of young people watching. In fact, some are in the studio here now watching you. Mercy is watching, Anu is watching, Ameza is watching, and several others at home watching. What's your advice to young women in Edo State who wants to pursue a career in science, engineering, technology, management, and in leadership roles, particularly with what you've done with the Edo Heritage Foundation and then Edo National Organization Worldwide, which you're currently heading, with all the achievement that you've achieved within such a short period of time, and there is no stopping you. What's your advice to young women?
My advice to young women is to stay focused. Is to stay focused wherever your mind tells you that you want to become, what you want to do, what you want to become in life. It is possible. You can do it. It's through hard work. It's through hard work. There's no two ways about it. Sometimes during the course of going through that, there could be challenges on the way, but don't be distracted. Just stay focused. Tell yourself, like the slogan former President Barack Obama tells us, he said, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. You can do it. You can do it. You just have to be determined. And I want to encourage you, young ladies, the sky is your limit. What the adage says, what men can do, we women, we can actually do better. We are women that runs the home. We take care of our family, our husband, children, and we still take care of the community everywhere. We are strong. God has created us to be strong women that can make an impact in the society. The sky is your limit. I want to encourage you all out there listening to me this morning that stay focused and also believe in God, because God is the one. I say we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So you can make it. If I can go through and I'm doing this, you can do better.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We've been talking with engineer Mrs. Bose Ogbeifun-Oviasu, who is the president of the Edo National Organization, National Association Worldwide, putting together a convention in Montreal, Quebec, in Canada later in the year. And already they're impacting community with the dialysis project. One already in Edo South, another coming up in Edo North, Okbela specifically, and another coming up in Edo Central. I want to commend you and appreciate you for this community project that you're impacting. I mean, these resources, which is personal, pure donations, it could have been channeled to other things, maybe personal things, but you've been able to galvanize everybody to ensure that this comes home, like bring it back home, what you see overseas, and that's really commendable. Thank you so much.
Actually, I want to use this medium to thank all the donors.
Okay.
All the donors, the money spent came from individuals, members of ENAW and outsiders that contributed immensely for the success of this project. Like the location in Edo South right now, the building is rented for 9 years. Barrister Olumide Akpata paid 5 years for us.
Fantastic.
For that location.
Okay.
You know, and so many engineer Engr Bose has been also architect Lucky Ogbeifun, and the chairman of the project, who is my vice president, engineer Charles Igwobadia, the chairman of the fundraising committee that is spearheading raising all these funds, Dr. Dixon, Jesu Robo, and so many others. I may not be able to mention all the names, but I want to use this medium to actually thank all of you, ENA, family as a whole. A big shout out to you guys.
Okay.
It's a collective effort, it's a teamwork.
All right.
And I thank God that we're able to bring back to our state, Edo
Fantastic.
State.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you
for having me.
Thank you so much.